Welcome back, everybody. It's fall here in New England and we are full swing into our apple season. So we get apples locally and we like to take advantage of that. We make applesauce, we make apple juice, but today we're going to be making some apple pie filling that we can either use now or can to put on the shelf. My plan is to get this canned and put into our pantry shelf. So come along and see how we do that. So I'm going to be taking these apples. I'm not going to bore you with this process. I'm just going to get these washed. I'm going to peel them, core them, and then I'm going to slice them so that I can use them for my apple pie filling. Now I'm using a variety of apples because these are some I get locally. These are all drops, and I don't mind using drops for applesauce and apple pie filling because they don't have to be the most beautiful apples, and I can cut out any bad spots that there may be from where they landed on the ground. So I've got a mix of Cortland's, Max, Delicious, and I feel that that just adds a really special thing to the flavor of our apple pies, is using the different types of apple. I'll be back with you as soon as I have that done so I can show you how thick I slice them. We can get them measured and into the pot. So before I got too far on this, I just wanted to touch base on a couple things. So I wanted to show you how thick I cut these. And I also wanted to let you know that none of this goes to waste. I take all my peels and cores and those go into a bag. Those go in my freezer, and then I steam juice these for apple juice. So let me finish getting these cut up and I'll be back with you in a minute. Well, I've got the rest of my apples done. Now, I had some apples in the fridge that I had already done. If you're like me, life sometimes gets in the way and you may not get a project all done on the same day. And I was peeling apples the other day, ended up with the grandkids over, life got kind of busy, and I was able to slice these and put them in the fridge and make sure that they were gonna last. If you didn't see my previous video on how to make a quick sprayer for lemon juice to preserve your fruit, make sure you give that a check in our playlist. And right now I'm measuring out 20 cups of apples, and that's 20 cups after they've been cored, peeled, and sliced. So I've got about 9 cups here. I'm gonna see how much the rest of this is, see if I need to maybe peel a couple more apples to put in or if I have any extra. Let me get 20 cups measured and into my pot, and I'll be back with you as soon as I have that full 20 cups. So I'm putting in the last that's gonna equal my 20 cups. And this may look like this is just completely overflowing, but this is going to cook down as well. Now, the only thing I'm gonna add at this point is a half a cup of water before I put this over on the stove, and that's to keep the apples from sticking until they can create their own juices in the pot. So let's get these over to the stove so we can move on to the next step. So now I've got the pot on the stove. I'm just going to put my heat to medium. I'm gonna put a cover over the top. It may not fit down quite, well, that actually fits pretty well. So we're gonna let this sit for a few minutes. I'm gonna give it 3 or 4 minutes. I'm gonna grab a spoon and we're gonna take and give this a stir. We're gonna keep an eye on it because we don't want anything to burn down, but we wanna keep those juices in until it really starts to soften the apples a little bit. So let me grab a spoon. We'll be back and we'll keep an eye on our apples. Well, it's been about 10 minutes. So now I'm gonna take the cover off, get that out of the way. Now at this point, I can see steam coming up. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not. So all I'm gonna do is just gently stir the apples, bring the bottom ones up, try to get the top ones to fall down in. And I'm just gonna continue this gentle process of stirring these, and I'm going to leave the cover off at this point. The apples are starting to soften a bit. This is going to take a little bit. Like I said, it's been about the first 10 minutes I left the cover on, and now I'm going to keep an eye on these because I don't want anything to stick. And we're just going to stir this, and then I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. I may actually put the cover back on for about another 5 minutes, I think. just feeling how firm these still are. And then I will, about every 2 or 3 minutes, I'm gonna make sure that I take this cover off, I get in and give them a stir. So let me put the cover on. I'll be back in a few minutes and we'll see how they're doing. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes more, and I've been taking the cover off every couple minutes and giving these a stir. And you can see they're starting to soften up nicely. Now, if you've seen my applesauce video, I'll make sure I leave a link in the description just in case you haven't. At this point is where I would mash these up before I add the ingredients, but because I'm going to use these like a pie filling, I'm just going to add my ingredients now. Now, if I wasn't canning this, I would only use 3/4 of a cup of sugar, but because these are going to be canned, I'm using 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And if I wasn't canning this, I would leave it out, but because I am canning, I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice for that acidity that we need for canning. So I'm gonna put this in. We're gonna stir this all up, and I'm going to bring this up to what would be the equivalent of a low boil. And I can see that in the bottom with the juices. It's hard to show you that on camera, but I'm gonna get this all stirred in so that it's well mixed. And I'll bring you back as soon as I have that ready. All right, you can see that this is starting to bubble. What I wanna do is give it a stir. And you can see the liquid in here, and I wanna see if that comes right back to a bubble. It doesn't, so it's almost, but not quite. Here it comes, almost, but not quite there. Now, if I wasn't canning this, I would add a mix of cornstarch and water to thicken this juice up, but I don't use cornstarch when I'm canning. So we're going to omit the cornstarch, and you can see it's starting to come back to a boil. We're gonna give this about 1 more minute. When it's at a full boil, I'll show it to you, and then we'll get this off the stove. All right, you can see that this is back at an even better boil. So if I just move stuff around and I look, it's coming right back up to a boil again. So this is ready for me to get it off the stove and into my jars. So I'll meet you back over at the table. So I just took this off the stove. These jars have been in the canner. They have been sterilized and they are very hot. So I have my glove on so I don't burn my hand. This will be the one that I'm moving the jars with. So at this point, we're just going to scoop out our filling, and we're gonna fill our jars, leaving a 1/2 inch headspace. I have my debubbler to make sure we don't have any air pockets, which is very important. And then the other end is what measures on the jars for me to know where my 1/2 inch headspace is. So I'm gonna get these jars filled. And as soon as I have them all filled, I'll be right back. We'll show you how many I got out of this, and we'll get them ready to go in the canner. So debubbling, for anybody who hasn't done it, is just taking the end, pushing down in, making sure you don't have any gaps. It also lets you know when you do that if you did have any gaps, and it pulls the juices down in if you need to fill your jar a little higher. Now, when I talk about the air gaps, that's where that cornstarch comes into play as well. When you add cornstarch into your jars, you can have a problem with clumping, which causes air gaps, and those air gaps are what can cause bacteria growth in your canned goods. So that's why I don't use cornstarch in any of my canned products, and why debubbling is so important. Let me get these jars finished and we'll be right back. I ended up with 6 pints of apple pie filling and just a tiny bit left over. Now it's time for me to take my paper towel with some vinegar on it, and I'm going to wipe all the rims and threads on these. I want to make sure that I don't have anything that is going to prevent a really nice tight seal. And that is a critical piece. Now, if you are concerned with how thick this is and you want to make sure it's thickened, another option you have for canning apple pie filling and thickening it is to use something called clear gel. And that's specifically made for canning, and it can be safely used. I don't have any, so I'm not using that today, and I prefer just to can mine as they are. So let me get the lids and the rings on these. I'm going to use my handy dandy jar lifter, get these into my hot water bath canner, which is already at heat, and I'll be right back. So I've got all 6 of my pint jars in my canner. I made sure I have at least an inch of water over the top of my jars. When these come back to a boil, I'm going to process them for 25 minutes, and we'll be back as soon as they're done. I have all 6 of my apple pie fillings out of the canner and resting over here. I'm gonna let these sit overnight and wait for the seals to pop down, and in the morning we'll be back to check and make sure they're all sealed. We have our 6 apple pie filling pint-sized jars ready to go into the pantry. All the jars sealed. We took that little bit we had left over and we used a tortilla shell and put it into our sandwich press with the apple pie filling in the middle and had a nice little snack with that. Now make sure to always remember, if you're going to be putting any kind of canned goods into your pantry, that you want to make sure that you label what they are and when they were canned, so you know what you have and you can rotate it correctly, keeping the newest in the back, oldest to the front. And if there's any other recipes or canned items you'd like to see us do a video on, please make sure you leave a comment below. I'll make sure that I link to any of our other apple recipes in the description. And until next time, everybody, take care.